point is that Solid were that team for quite a while, where rather the opposite of that, where they only really had one player you could point the finger to in GBB. We've known him to be a known entity as far as going individually head-to-head with other players is, but having Tamate and having him even actually excel beyond what GBB's capabilities can hold sometimes, this is a map Tamate I've seen with my own two eyes very much so farm. So I think that if you're going to look at the known entities, your Pyria, my GBB, and then you stack up behind that with my Tamate, and then your, I would assume, probably Kai, if we're going based on recent history as well as far as the rifling core goes, it really just comes down to whether or not Zevi is reintegrated back into this team well enough.
Oh, hard! Get away from him. Now is alone Destiny at this B site. The only thing he can do is pepper shots through the smoke and hope for the best. Destiny, he'll try to pluck some heads. He'll get one with him, maybe a second if he's lucky, but Pyria and Molzen run him down. So with the one-man slight advantage, they decide to get that plant in, and another peek comes from Art. So all of a sudden, it's no advantage, it's a diss, because in comes Molzen, and he's got two on the other end of the store. Nice jumping shot, but that's all he's gonna get. It's a great trade from Tamate. You talked him up, and it comes in the perfect time.
Big wins for sure. A pistol player to which those dual Berettas are well and safely kept in the hands of. Very happy to see his success in this first round if they're going to be making this Dust2 one of their own. And yeah, and I mean, seeing as it's not the best of three, it's two sets of best of ones. It's pretty interesting to note that this is the one that comes through, because otherwise we'd have conversations like, yeah, well, maybe map 2 or map 3 or where we can see Fluxo really have, a change in play. But no, this is actually, even if they split 1-1, a really big moment for Solid to solidify themselves at the top sides of the ECL board. And I don't really know personally how much stock I put into Fluxo on this map with their latest additions and swap outs from the bench to the active roster, but frankly, I think I just have become a general Solid supporter, and Naifon being put down early, problematic, and I want to see if they speed up the pace with that flash in the doorway. Tamate not blind, he'll spot them out and call for DRG, but will either of them be able to frag out in the moment that they need him? DRG does arrive, but he's downed by the AK.
It's pretty much rinse and repeat, exactly what they did in the last round, but this time it works far better. They got the opening pick before they even exploded out. Utility used well, and now they're going to attempt this retake yet again. It's another 2-on-3, but health has come to be a benefactor unless Destiny knife out walks into the scout of Molzen, and GBB is just left with scraps, hoping anything can be recovered. Molzen will give him a kill, at least seems like it. Not hiding his route of Rick approach. MP9's going to run him down, but how much further can you really make this? Not much. It's an AKB and MP9.
Did Naifon buy an op that round?
Wait, I didn't even notice that. You're right.
I guess, I mean...
Does that mean he out-scout the op?
I don't mean to be that guy, but I feel like a second-round op is kind of a dangerous play, considering they'll almost always go for the scout, and knowing what these players are capable of with weapons like that in their hands, it's never an easy feat, and that's pretty ego, in my opinion, of Naifon to not only say, yeah, I'll out-snipe you, Zevi, but then also go down and lose the round effectively based on that decision.
I mean, Fluxo are already showing their pace, right? I mean, even though the pistol round didn't work their way, it was pretty much the exact same thing, and exact same pace. Alongside that, they're sprinting up long, and I don't think they're going to let Solid get set up. It's only pistols. Can't let the utility pieces come out, or else things could really start to get hectic, but the only thing helping them is an HE, and it seems to have strayed by just about everybody, so Solid have no interest in going back in.
Kai just trying to hold on to mid, kind of caught in between a couple of different angles that could be proving to be problematic if they were in unison going to swing out, in which they actually play a bit of a ping and a pong from high and from low, and that's going to catch him in no man's land with a weapon to retrieve. GBB, he'll be happy to save that with his armor and flash, and the rest also probably pretty content with saving out. I mean, they're not going to be able to buy up fully into the next round more likely than not, but if they can keep this AK-47, I guess you could argue for it depending on what kind of caller you are. It's loss bonus that'll hit 2. You already have to, invest in only the rifles, seeing as your armor is in full for players like Destiny, so I think there's a real world that this could actually come back to bite Fluxo a little bit, leaving Kai out on his own. It could. A hard could. I don't say it should or it will, but it could.
Only time will tell.
Because this is a map where you can also get away with being a player like Naifon and just opt to say, hey, drop me a scout, you know what I mean? And then play off with dropping your teammate a FAMAS, seeing as that is, how the economy works now. 1950 is enough for that. That's
I'm still a firm believer that the FAMAS didn't even need the buff. I was always a FAMAS believer.
You were. I don't agree, but you were.
Oh, yeah. I'll die on this hill. But
Yeah.
honestly, it might be better than dying alone in mid, giving an AK over. That's just my take, though. However,
Zing!
you know all about that one, don't you? Why not?
What the?
Ooh.
Oh, there it is. That's the
There's the
AK-47.
AK. Yeah, wait, this is a problem. They're going to run down picks. This is exactly what they did. Again, on the pistol, they've seen some emphasis put on getting mid-control. And one of these rounds, it wasn't going to work. The trade trying to come in. It's a dink on Kai. They know he's low. And now two people stare at this angle, high-low. There's no way you're getting out with that one. And they know Zevy's running down B. They hear him in tons, or don't they?
Did art die long? I didn't even know. I thought there was another player available and alive, but an X on your screen, you would have thought that a walkthrough from Knife-On would be punished, but no, instead, they trade places effectively so for solid success. But Zevy, he's got this up even still. 3 bullets in the chamber, heard on the zoom. 1 player close and 1 player afar. It's the latter who will finish it before Tamate even has to strike in. 2 on 2, and this seems to be anybody's game even still, as no one's consecutively, at least beyond 2 rounds, made me a believer.
At least Nighthon gets his off back, right? You got something to ride over that. Hey. A dub is a dub. I don't think they got a kill with it either.
Oh, wait a minute. It was Molzen who had found the scout kill on that round. I thought it was Zevy, but he's yet to enter the board.
No, it was... honestly, I thought it was Pyria, but...
Well, he had the scout at the end of the round, unless they traded in the middle of it. I just remember he had the scout at the ends of the round, but... Could have been Pyria, and they played hot potato.
We'll finally see an op duel. Down Sui, they both seem eager to peek. Ooh, look at that D-lore. I haven't seen a D-lore in a while. That's unrelated, but figured I'd point that out. Knife-On looking to point out anybody crossing back from the tons to Xbox. His utility is exchanged up Catwalk, and Destiny's the only one to answer the call for it now. I'd imagine that'll be changed rather shortly, but so far, no one seems too eager to get back in. Oh, I thought that day was going to be a lot chunkier.
Yeah. Counter-Strike days can be a little bit unpredictable sometimes. At least from a spectator point of view. Destiny, very much so, holding the line on A site as needed, as Molzen will drop. The smoke will kind of keep them a cover to fight towards long if they want. They can at least keep Destiny's vision out and away from him, but nobody's actually given all that much of a duel. They're still pretty much split one-on-one. Responsible for their own avenues of this A-site attack, as the split's not yet activated to lurk from Kai's Deagle, and that's all that he's going to have. He's really putting the onus on Zevy and Pyria right now to crack things open one. GBB will creep his way forwards to try and support the player topside ramp, the flash to activate, and there's Kai, but too little, too late, more likely than not.
I feel like this round really embodies what we talked about in the pregame about Team Solid and how they're pretty much the inverse of Fluxo in the regard that they are almost never playing for isolated picks. You see the way that Destiny shifts around a site. You see him throw that molly, peek behind it. That's the only fight they really take and commit to solo. Other than that, it's Knife-On swinging with him. And as soon as Knife-On falls, as soon as his next support is too far down long, Destiny doesn't give them an inch, not 1 pixel of his head. And that's why things work so well. You see everybody come and trump this A-site hold. And Fluxo just can't keep up.
It's a game of keep up now, I guess, is honestly what we've been noticing throughout this thus far. It's just been oh, you get 2 rounds? Okay, then we'll take our 2. Oh, you want to eco us? Okay, we'll eco you right back. And surely not again. Surely not again, as R on 3 HP gets bold, sends a shot through the doorway, and does actually effectively put down Knife-On once more, as it's the second time we've seen him fall on that sort of a duel. Scout not treating him too well against him in mid.
But where do you go with this if you're Fluxo? I mean, it's a really nice pick to have, right? But they still don't necessarily have enough evidence, we'll say, to go into one site or another. They still have to find this pick on GBB, or they still have to drop Destiny. Pretty much anybody that was on A before still hasn't been cleared, and this kill just came right back. A lot of damage with it. You run back to the site, and time's running out, and you don't have a lot of utility to help you.
No. And it's something that you very desperately need. There's Zevy. Oh, trying to make the adjustment. It was quite close, but still off the mark in money. But these Deagles still doing their work. It was Kai from long in the last, but Destiny should be fine. I mean, as long as he doesn't overextend, he's got teammates to hold for his cross that he can play off of. And here comes DRG that should be exactly that.
Surprised there's no shots through the box right now. Honestly, put some pressure on him. Nope, crosses back. 14 seconds. At this point, the round should effectively be over. But with that headshot from Kai, it seems the idea's been reopened. 8 seconds. This could come down to time, or it could come down to Tomate again. Both rounds he's gotten kills were 3Ks. The pistol and here, he saved his team in each cause.
That was a pretty clean burst there from Tomate to finish out for sure. I hope to see just a bit more from him for this map, as he's been a little bit sporadic in how often he's found kills. I'm pretty sure that was his first round having impact since pistol, both of which being 3Ks. DRG on that second op, that's something we've seen actually shift in between map dependencies for Solid, where Tomate is also more than willing to pick that gun up and looks really damn good with it as well. But honestly, starting to get him a little bit more heated up on that AK-47. It's probably for the better. Both players in the corner side blind. Not so blind are the players behind, and it looks easy enough for them to finish, but a flick and a drag from DRG keeps them delayed for at least a moment or so. A molly and a nade, and a minute and 10, and they've got a 4v4 to play for, but the bomb that needs to be planted.
Dude, this nade could be deadly. They're going to plant right for him. That nade's going to be a slam dunk. I don't know if it's going to kill him, but it'll do a hell of a lot of damage. Look at the effect, and I don't know what's just happened. Couple of DCs. I'm a little confused. I think we've got a tech guaranteed, but Tomate is now again tasked with saving his team. I'm pretty sure he's the only one left in the server. 43 HP. And he's trying to split the bill between Art and Co. Nice attempt, but an even nicer shot from Art. I don't know what happened in the middle of that round, but Fluxo, we're thanking the gods for it. It's so unlucky. That's so unlucky that two people disconnect from Solid, one from Fluxo. The one who disconnected for Fluxo was Zevi, who's already dead. And then it's Solid losing 2 of their 3 players in the 2-on-3.
These things happen.
No tech. Wow.
Nah, man, right back. No time to waste. Okay, eliminated again. Nithon's downed and gone. I think it was a boost for Zevi there that catches him over top side of the board. He enters the kill matrix, finally posting himself his first. Potentially for Fluxo's sake of many. And yeah, calling into question now this mid-game plan I have to for Solid. I think they need to utilize Nithon in ways that are a little bit more unpredictable, a little bit more unorthodox than this, because there's not even a read that needs to be had from the Fluxo players, because they've had a multitude of players come out on top of that duel 3 now.
Oh my. Well, I really like the investigation to be here by Fluxo. Feels like when they've gone out long, it's kind of been inconsistent the amount that it's actually worked. And as for scaling into sight, the same thing could be said. They haven't really done much toward B. This is the first round I feel like they've actually put emphasis on getting into tons in the early round, and whilst that kill doesn't come through, I mean, it's already a save call. It's not really a huge deal. Op grabbed by Tomate, though, and now it's just a game of mitigating the damage potential in the next round.
Tomate keeping his head hung low. And they're not going to be getting all that close to him to where I'm worried. They'd more likely than not have to go through Destiny first, so. For all, Dust2 delivering on most fronts now, but an adjustment really needing to be had in this next gun round we will see from Solid. Not in this round, but more likely the next, unless they realize they simply can't afford an op in the future, so they'll drop things around and shuffle about to try and make it competitive. And here it goes. Nithon gets his sniper rifle. No armor for him just yet, but the rest deciphering what they'll need in order to remain a threat to the Fluxo players. Keeping around the $2,000 mark, it's an interesting place to be for sure, but they, still really need to rely on the rifles that have been converted from that previous already tagged. Molzen, I believe, hit through the corner of the wall by Nithon sniper. Impact to begin with, but for how much more can he actually have any say?
Ooh. I don't know how Zevi's going to get out of this one. I think he should be happy to just have one with him. Oh, wait, look at this 5-7 and done Tomate! He had a big chance to get that kill on Kai. He does still come through, but This is just a chaotic round, man. I can't even break it down for you right now. Sprinting out long, you've got Molzen rotating on 8 HP. I don't even know what the end goal is here right now because I don't think the smoke is still going to be here when the bomb crosses.
This is a problematic clutch for Molzen even then. I'm not really going to count him out. It's the HP that could go in any way. It's a matter of timing as to who shows skin first.
And right now it looks like Nithon. He's getting a little impatient. His teammate's nowhere near him at long. And look at who else is with him in the backline. I'm not sure if he actually has it off, but did he just combat off Molzen on 17 health in a one-on-one at a headshot angle?
No, it was 2v1. It was...
Well, I mean, he gave him
teammate
one.
saw his little head.
He's swung.
It would have been hard to tap him if it needed to be quick, but yeah.
I mean, that's still brazen.
What else is bro to do? Times of the essence, man.
Sometimes pressure can make you do crazy things. I feel like we haven't really seen Nithon get too many opportunities at peaks either. Maybe once in mid or twice, but beyond that, it's been pretty supportive for the most part. And even here, I thought he was going to go for something out long, but he's just throwing the flashes, setting up GBB to get into pit. Elsewhere, it's Fluxo with interest in mid, currently smoked off in Xbox, but they just go straight through it. They've done this a couple of times. There's a crossfire in place out mid, but that smoke massively dissipates, and I'm not sure how you deal with this.
Oh, dropping a body on the op there is going to be pretty important to Zevi, as once more it'll be he who actually has some impact despite not having multi-fragged for this game as of yet. It'll be there once he actually hits that stride, and at B, it's already one of the doorway. Destiny not quite ready. Nadeful able to get away with no sustained damage, but they've lost this B site in its entirety, but little do they know that it's there. Something's going down, and I don't know if I like it. It's Zevi who's posted and at least cut them off from that B push back. For a second there, I was a little bit sweaty on it, but you know, still dealing this shots after shots. I don't really foresee them going for this retake even so.
No, right? But at the same time, GBB is getting uncomfortably close, and they're giving him an opportunity, one they might regret. Look at Zevi, still as low as 22 HP, and now Nithon turns on the jets as he sprints through tons, and if he gets this kill in mid, if he drops Zevi in under, this could be a world of pain. Zevi has to make a move. They've got to figure this out, though. They've got to find where the rat the mole in lower tons is. That second flash, though, is just a mere flag being waved, saying Solid have no more intentions of getting closer, but this round, it could have very easily flipped its head onto Solid's favor.
Another save, another day, another Fluxo pushback. Doesn't really read to me like consistency from either of these two teams would lead me in one direction or the other, frankly. If there is one thing that's going for either, is it's a unified effort, it feels like now. Fluxo really getting everybody online as of just that last round, with Zevi meeting up with the rest of the crew at an even keel at 6-6, but that's going to have to remain. That's going to have to continue onwards in throughout not only this half, but entering their defensive. It's good to see him finally snap out of it. Nithon's been given chance after chance. He's fumbled it one time after the next, but even then, not shown a willingness to keel over and say die. He'll go up towards Catwalk, flowing to the shoulder shot of that. Zevi AWP trying to get out from mid, but the ledge, a very nice elevated angle for him to see him on the fallback.
I was just mentioning it, right? That Nithon hadn't gone for too many like peaks in that sense. He may have taken a fight or two in the mid doors, but as for going up Cat, as for maybe walking it in tons, maybe going up A long, there's been none of that pretty much. And now Fluxo slow the pace, start throwing a little more util, maybe shift some players one direction or another, but they're not really set up to execute anywhere right now. They've got one lurk in tons, but beyond that, they still have to retake mid. Originally spotting Nithon here, you can't just assume it's yours.
Eagle on the 5-7, now Destiny with utility can try and stuff them. He's actually been forced by his own hand to fight or flight, and he'll try to actually duel it out, and that's not going to work out too well for him with 2 players on AK-47s waiting for his arrival.
That's a
Leaving
massive
now
trade.
GBB to try and fight through the same spot. Yeah, it's a little chalk there. Feels like desperation settling in even then. Oh!
You still need a couple of kills if you're DRG, but maybe one by time cause a ruckus. They don't clear car. That's maybe all you even need if your GBB was playing lights out, and he almost gets the kill on Molzen. Health, not a factor if he'd have gone against Pyria, but it's not a fate that Fluxo will have to think about much instead. Now they're going to think about being up 7-5, because Solid don't really have anything to invest with.
The lead now that Fluxo will look to have to hold on to on this map that we had kind of put into question for them with Solid's history. Their track record. Molzen trades out space with the player bottom side, and DRG will have no idea. He's sure as hell a dead man. But does Molzen realize that there may be another in wait? I highly doubt it. Destiny activates, but they've lost so much in the way of map knowledge and information that they try and go discovery. And in that mode, they end up finding only death up until alongside walkout from Kai. Not Art this time punished. And really makes it all the easier, I think, for Nithon to call for where the rest of the action has to be coming from. Or maybe even from beyond the grave, DRG can give a read.
This is not over. But with everybody split up right now, I don't have very high faith for Solid. However, Nithon's come through and Sui at the... I mean, the timing's not really going to get better than that, but just a hard duel to win. They still path up toward A, so luckily for Destiny, he's here to try and thwart this. Tomate's scout, though. How can you be the proper alarm to raise? Maybe by doing that. One tag is all it takes for them to start slowing their approach, at least a little bit. Time shouldn't be of much a factor. It's only 40 seconds left, rather. That should still be plenty of time. But again, Destiny's still here, and he just saw the head of one on Catwalk.
I can't believe neither of these 2 players have yet even seen each other, I don't think. Destiny's still obviously on alert for it, but it's B where the finish was always to end. If he was able to find the lower of 2, whether it be Pyria or Art, then maybe Destiny had a reason to believe in himself. But yeah, I don't think Art is going to be missing this one all too often. A little bit labor for a split second there just by virtue of maybe a little bit of a jump scare. But this is the half, 7-5. Fluxo at the lead. It looks well done, but can they finish out and strong?
Thus far, back and forth affair, however, slightly stronger for Fluxo as they switch to the defensive. I feel like opening picks have very frequently gone their way, and one more of those could really start to send Solid on a spiral.
My mind has not been entirely made up, but Fluxo have definitely given me a bit of an extra added oomph into what my initial thoughts would be for Dust2 as far as the competition level goes. 2 rounds to the lead, but 1 player down at disadvantage. It's Solid who once more looked to find the pistol, but Kai looked to deny, and a great double with aggression up through the ladder, the stairwell. Sorry, train on the mind. It seems that will actually come back to bite him. He gets overzealous looking for more than he had initially bargained, and yeah, that's actually the round drowning out from then onwards.
Hold on now. Maybe Art turns back the years a little bit. Even though it's not like he's been having a bad game. But I mean, what's he gonna do? Save his USP no armor? High doubt for that one. But pace right now isn't leading him in the right direction. Nobody inhabiting Catwalk currently, instead completely hands off. And, well, the mind can really only assume that this is not going to go well for him when he eventually cracks into the site. Half the timer already ticked. Very, very slow and patient. And I think eventually, when that button clicks, it won't be doing much because there will be 2 players staring down his exact angle. One jumping around, maybe a little more free than it needs to be. However, Art still doesn't get anywhere closer than he needs to be. And Solid will just take what is a freebie pistol. That is, wow.
Everything all right, dude?
I'd be mad. I'd be so mad. A dink, 99. Oh, it wasn't 99, but it was pretty close to it. 1 HP with the bomb blast. Come on. Oh, I'd be so mad. I mean, you can't know, but I'd be so mad.
Come on.
Come on. I thought it was Period.
All right. Well, what was?
Back in the second round, I thought he was the one buying these scouts. Oh my God.
Yeah, like I said, I know Molzen ended the round with it. Maybe Furia started with it and then lopped it over.
I mean, now he's lobbing over some damage for this cat assist. Kai's MP9? Oh my God, it was the perfect recipe for disaster.
Don't respect that smoke, not at all. Smart to not really give that much leeway to Art's position there. They're not afraid of a single pistol. They should be more scared of the buy that'll come, not in the ensuing round, but the one after that. Really make that AWP a prevalent factor for them, to where Zevi had only really just started to see himself in this game as a player. Nifon really wasn't doing a whole hell of a lot either. So the initial talking point of what was GBB and Tomate versus Piria and Kai, I'd say that pretty safely this game started out with Solid's duo looking to be the better of them, but you know, as the tide started to roll over, we saw Kai elevate himself, Piria cool off just a little bit. So, you know, if they finally meet at an eye level and in hand can make this work, there's definitely no telling how much damage they can do, but that's all ifs, ands, and buts as of right now.
I don't know if there's anything that's going to stand between Solid and their 8th here shortly. Maybe Pieria's scout, but I feel like with the amount of smoke Solid have thrown in these past couple, or on that default, I'd imagine it's going to stay pretty rigid. But couldn't entirely tell you. There's some util bought up here. It's not like it's an aimless investment. In fact, Deagle on Kai. Honestly, I wouldn't even count this out from being a close, contentious round. Just all depends on where the assets go right now. 3 of them lean to tons. Molzen hears this. Nade should go deep, but I don't think it'll do anything.
Desert Eagle with a headshot angle could be problematic. Zevi, not really a whole lot else he can do at that point. No real reason to fall back and away. Just try and make a pitcher of lemonade out of the lemons gifted to you, but a sour taste left in the mouth of each and every one of these Fluxo players' pistols being put down with little to no problem. The HE's been sent, Piria spotted nothing, and now they've effectively negated him to go wherever they so please on the board. And they've got so much utility to just kind of play with this as they want. Like they're in no rush to do much of anything. still even clearing out these close corners. Won't burn out, and they're not going to hard clear him either.
I actually really like this pathing of going back toward B, right? Because you know that Yuto was baited out early on. That scout just cheated away. At least you would imagine at most it's going to be on the doors. But regardless, it's just a good call from Solid, and I think it completely counters Fluxo's ability to get eco frags here.
Yeah, I mean, oh, okay. I was going to say fast exit frags could be good, but Molzen wasn't actually quite ready for it in full. Eventually he regains his composure and goes for the second swing out, but shots just off the money as he'd already been made well aware of. The fully automatic rifle will crush him. Furia spots yet another. It's just going to be pop-outs here and there. Just a game of peekaboo, kind of. And their loss bonus hits 3 rounds now. I don't think they're going to have enough for an op unless Molzen goes for it no armor.
Oh, hold on a second.
If I'm not mistaken.
There's so much damage dealt right now. I mean, everybody has to move away from the bomb. They are very susceptible to this scout getting kills, period. Walking down mid, he tried to take
Zevi could go glass cannon. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a little bit mismanaged in terms of money for Fluxo. IMO.
I mean,
if this is what they want to do, they're playing up against 2 Galils still, and then nobody has head armor, let alone Zevi, who's soft.
They invested so much in the last round. So much. I was a little surprised when I saw Kai go down to, I think it was 1,100. I mean, yeah, you had to take an L somewhere in that regard, but I guess it should be okay, right? 3 smokes, couple mollies, they take lower tons. And maybe trying to counteract some of that low buy problem with a aggressive push, and don't get away with anything just yet until Pyria rips the head off of DRG in mid, and now everybody starts to panic for Solid. Where do we look? Where do we go? Somebody was spotted in lower. Yuto is being thrown from the doors. Another peek from Catwalk. They're everywhere right now.
That's drained them of over half the utility that you'd mentioned, Anthran. Those smokes you were talking about are all gone now, so that opening pick was almost a necessity given that fact. So here on out, it's going to be a retake relatively dry as far as maybe a flash or two here and there, still expending them with little to no care. I wonder how much they'll hold by the final, 30 seconds of it. But another kill almost through the doorway with no response, no exchange where either the op or the rifles have been able to stop them in their tracks. It's 1 for Molzen and 1 for Pyria, and nothing in the way of map control or damage in succession for Solid.
And they've got a flash for this, too. Pyria's holding this. The second that somebody spots something from headshot, absolutely going to be a full swing, but Kai just goes without it. Pyria's still got that flash, and now Solid, who could have potentially had an advantage, even in a 4-on-5, now are completely scrambled. The economy might have been mismanaged, but this round was quite the antithesis of that.
Yeah, I guess they really just had in mind what it would mean if they were to go for this sort of utility, right? Like, it wasn't just them throwing caution to the wind in this purchase as far as the utility it went. They had a very clear and concise idea in mind as to what they needed to succeed, and they hit each beat, but now it's if that kill hadn't transpired from Kai, a matter of whether or not the 1-for-1s had gone their way or if they got untraded. But with Kai actually coming out on top of it before they were even comfortably offered, that's just pretty much round securing.
And it's not like Solid are going to have nothing to discuss with in the next round, but the problems of Fluxo are going to be left in yesteryear. Now I'd imagine you're going to see a couple of players go to head armor. I mean, you still have the Galil, or at least you had it. But I'm a little surprised. Pyria and Art have still not grabbed it. And I think that could be a big deal. I think
they might not have body armor at 100, so they might have had to buy the full 350 with it. I don't know if that's true, but it's possible.
I mean, I guess if there's 2 players that you're okay with it, it's probably Pyria and it's probably Art, because Art's usually playing really turtley on B, and then Pyria's usually supporting on A. But, I mean, there is 100% a world that maybe Art gets F1 peaked. However, that's not happening here. Instead, it's Destiny with the F1 peak going against him. Oh.
It does. Oh, the HUD doesn't show what their armor level is at. It's a shame.
Womp womp.
It's a suggestion for ESL, I guess. That'd be pretty useful in conversations such as this that happens once every 4 years.
All right. Good shake of hands. I'll see you in 29.
Now they're just kind of trying to use whatever little utility they have at expendable amounts to try and pull a rotation from Fluxo. That or just keep players there and idly by expecting there to be a split to come through. So they've done that at least successfully enough. You know, they've hunkered down this B-bomb site. You said yourself they play very turtled art, but having moles in here too, they can both now hold each other's sides and backs. But that becomes an issue when the mid rotator is going to be a little late. He actually disrespects the mid smoke that had been put up in through by GBB. His lurk late will actually be successful in finding a kill, but no backstab on either two B players means that they can just peek their heads up and down one after another and art for the double. That'll be pretty much the securing kills as GBB was already made known and the bomb was just too far gone.
And now what do you do if you're solid? Because you've got DRG and Destiny, you can both potentially throw a gun into the fray of things, but for all likelihood, this should be a save. And problems are starting to arise because Fluxo, we saw them with this pretty much entire half, even in the rounds they were losing. They weren't scared to take these opening duels, and that's what got them so far on their T side. They've been doing it again now, and the way they've used their util in accordance to how they want to be playing this map, how they want to be taking things, how they want to be going for opening duels has been so good. It feels like Solid or like they don't have an answer.
Yeah, it's like they don't have an answer, but it's at the same time, in my opinion, that they don't really do anything wrong. I mean, they're not really doing anything inherently bad. It's just a matter of, first of all, there being very, very effective refrags coming in through these Fluxo players. Like, note that Art double kill on the B site last round. If he goes down after that, it doesn't really even matter given how the early round had transpired. But here, let's talk about trades again, because Zevi's been able to go one for one of his teammates in Furia and another for Art in the next. Going through the doorway before the bombs even planted, a power move, one as a statement, as Tomate's already made low. Now he's relying on Destiny to get something done on an extremity that he's yet to even be made known on, but it's Zevi who's expended through the window, and Kai who's more than aware that there could be a possible late round long peak.
What? I mean, I know you want AKs, right? But they just ditched the op.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
don't know,
really
dude.
don't like that. I really don't like that because now if you lose this round immediately afterwards, and that was a save, so they are buying, you're going right back to eco, and I think it's a world of difference where look at what Kai has left over. Zevi could have easily had the same. They both went into this round with the same amount, but Zevi had to buy an op.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Piri and Kai having AK-47s here is a little more important than worrying about Zevi on an op right now, considering how he's not been a non-factor, but he's not been a driving force to their wins. That round may be sure, but otherwise, these AK-47s have been very important to them. I didn't see him. His gun barrel was shown. He's blinded, eventually turns in, but that was almost a nightmare scenario if Kai just turned himself even inches to the left.
I'm almost a little surprised they didn't go and check blue bin there. They had the perfect setup to do it too, but I mean, that's the saving grace for Solid right now as the regression comes through on Catwalk. And we're going to see if that op purchase or not comes to bite them as Fury is tucked into the corner. That AK that was handed specifically to him, we're about to see if it gets, I'd say more than one, but potentially viable is the word to put. Right now, they both swing together, and it doesn't. Zevi is here with the op, and health, I mean, it's low, but it shouldn't matter. I don't know how you hold this down in the 1-on-4. They don't have more than one smoke, so I don't know if they can really just go throwing it willy-nilly. Couple of shots needed to be hitting. Zevi lined him up, but he just didn't hit Mouse 1.
Pull trigger in time and well aware of the possibility of the elevation from CT spawn part and those boxes giving good enough room for it. But Art, although he was quick, it was Destiny who was quicker to think. And yeah, I mean, that Zevi readjustment along, I actually thought he was pretty primed for it. I thought he had that one. And, you know, from that point forward, it's a matter of playing it like Zywoo and just readjusting your angles as they cross towards the site. Obviously, you don't have to hit shots like Zywoo, but, you know, hitting your one as they peer into you on whatever reaction time you can make work, it's going to be a lot easier for you than the opposition. So now they go into this next round, and seeing as that money was in the place that it was, seeing as their investments have been, I wouldn't say unorthodox, but just definitely outside of the realm of being able to invest consistently in full, leaves Zevi with an AWP offered up in by Kai, who is the most wealthy of them. He's got a FAMAS. Furia's got one as well. Those two players delegated, but not nearly as much so as Molzen or Art.
Oh my god, I love this. It almost worked too. Zevi was maybe an inch too high away from giving maybe not Zevi, but the MP9 of Art was an inch too high from giving Zevi a hole to finding that opener up cat. And now it's a game of rotating at the right time, trying to beat these smokes, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And now with the op shot raining out, the jig is up. I mean, if the MP9 didn't tell you it was a full buy, now the AWP absolutely did. So a little more caution on this site take as Pyria gets his one and tucks back into the headshot angle. Art dropped. A lot more utility to work around right now for Solid, who seem to be stuck having into the site. Pyria's given himself an opportunity for a second and a chance for the rotates to come through, but without another kill, I don't think Zevy's touching this.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, Kai was over at pit side, and he was going to be able to activate later on, but all he had was the FAMAS. But actually going unbeknownst to them for long enough, catches one with pants down, the double kill from two separate players from bottom side B tunnels. Molson gets an AK, upgrades, and what in the hell was that? You barely even saw him.
It was
Zevy, baby. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm with you, bro. I thought that was just a ridiculous shot.
That wouldn't have even been logical.
There's no way they just shot another AK to Zevy. Bro, he's not picking it up.
Do it, Zevy.
I'm not dropping my AWP for an AK. You're out of your mind.
This is why Zevy got benched the first time. Because he wouldn't pick up AKs and not play with an AWP.
Trolling.
Do a little trolling.
This is a tough pill to swallow if you're Solid. And look at Fluxo. They're about to potentially put in the dagger right now. Zevy's going all the way up mid. They're going to catch them on this crossover to the long doors for sure. A kill and a half to Mate on 17. And they know this is a long scaling. It has to be. Where else are they going to go? You just saw the bomb. If this ends in shutout fashion, then the game might just conclude.
He can be really important here for them if he heard that player to walk upside mid. He already knew that Zevy had escalated himself to the corner cubby, but with a Galil, it was never going to work to his favor and advantage to where an AK might have done it. It's Molson who's taken to about half, but a bomb site gets theirs in Silver Lining. But the only smoke they've got left is in the hands of Tamate, and being taken low as he was early on, I doubt he'll be able to find more than the one, but the AWP as the second weapon makes this problematic. Another player there, a third, two confirmed in this direction, and now Solid have a lot to work with.
I mean, and look at this reroute. It's panicked because Fluxo had no idea they were going to have to go back up catwalk. Pyria rotated down CT because of this. This is falling apart.
Oh, that's so painful. They just frankly wasted time at long there with three guys. I mean, they're dancing with the idea of going through the doors. One player commits, no one else is close enough to go even further beyond. It's the Zevy AWP that's kind of left wondering, what am I to do? I can't go jumping in like a maniac. I mean, I'm going to get absolutely wrecked by the SMG if that were to be the case. And by the time the second rifler is there, it's just all the more difficult for them to justify retaking it when the smoke hits the floor and denies them their vision. It won't be AKs retrieved. It'll be a double AWP, and Art known to be an entity with that sniper rifle quite consistently. We'll see what he can do here and now, because this is a formula we've not yet seen put in place, and the weapons that surround them aren't exactly ideal, and the utility isn't fully equipped either. Some inspiration needs to come out from this Browns call.
Oh, and Zevy's trying to give it to him for a moment. I thought he was going to get his wish in Sui, but for now, it's just pretty much all clearing mid, giving the all good as his teammates tuck and really set up shop at lower tons. Molly puts a wrench in things, but doesn't seem like he wants to completely recommit. And here comes that second off of Art. They've got an MP9 up close. It was, again, the perfect formula, but the MP9 actually didn't get anything. It was Art's AWP that struck fear. And it's another retake attempt. This time, they're a lot closer. They won't have to worry about twiddling their thumbs, or maybe they will because Molson being dropped has made this almost impossible.
That really stinks. He would have been a major piece to this retake for sure, but Zevy being gifted a shoulder on Jiggle with no commit to the fight leaves now Tamate to 1v2 amidst the smoke. Both players, same direction, unknown to him, but soon enough, he'll realize, just as he knows that everything else beyond the door side is open and out, both players with nades in hand, one of them being found earlier and Zevy being audibly known. He has to make a move. It has to be bold. He has a kit, but he doesn't have that much time. He needs to kill him, and he needs to kill him now, and I think Tamate will catch the drop. It's too much to handle, and Zevy, the full stick needed, unless he hits the one shot, the one tap, time not enough, and 11 all. He won't even get away with a gun, Anthran.
Dude, again, man, that's the third round in a row Tamate has done something like that. It's another 3K clutch that is given Solid a round. I mean, you really just can't, you can't talk about Solid without talking about Tamate right now, it feels like. And this is why. And it's not just won them the round. It's broken Fluxo. It's turned Fluxo from where they should have won it. They absolutely should have won it. Again, think back on the MAC 10 round. Guess who it was again? Tamate. He has now brought them from the point of one round loss is probably the map to potentially taking it right under Fluxo's toes.
Yeah. No, I mean, Tamate is like a super X factor for this team. Like he'll go quiet for a couple of rounds consistently, but then also just outright win you a swing. And this is one of those rounds. This is one of those rounds where you can see what Fluxo now have to work with, and all incited by that one instance. Tamate might actually get shot in the back of the head now, and he certainly will. It's a gun they can utilize, but it won't mean much of anything. I mean, without any flashes, smokes, mollies, nothing, they're just be throwing bodies just one after another in hopes of using their numbers in sheer force. But unless gifted a frag in the first 15 of this, it's going to be chalked and out, and as a matter of fact, they get the complete opposite dealt onto them.
I mean, you got to be happy to get away with this AK, if anything, but even that might be far-fetched depending on how aggressive Solid want to get for this. There's still 3 Galils out, so I wouldn't entirely be shocked if you see some crazy push, but in the long run, I think Zevi is already way too far gone. Goes kicking around the soccer ball in T-spawn. The round's likely concluded. I don't think he's going to get touched in this one, but where it once originally was, now the complete opposite, as it's Solid, surprisingly enough, with map point, and Fluxo having to defend. The money should be there. They should have almost everything they could ask for, maybe barring one M4, but util, a couple of kits, should be all peachy keen.
This is a moment where Solid on a long entrance finding multi would pretty much give them that way forward to be able to close out and sweep it from, as you say, under the feet of these Fluxo players who have tried their best, but a Zevi double it long and a third nearly from the AK. I am kind of shocked it even gets that close, but everything that's transpired on the map everywhere else has gone problematic for Pyria. Destiny with a read. He looks to the smoke, he holds it, adjusts to the spray, and finds his head at 13-11. They do finish it off, and although Dust2 was never a clear-cut win in potential, it was always there for the side of Solid.
I mean, we came into this map discussing Solid in previous affairs in this head-to-head have been quite preponderant. This one wasn't as one-sided, very close for Fluxo. However, at the end of